Yeah, I can tell your upstream's just sucking donkey balls because the graphics on your Discord. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. And it looks like we may be back live, folks. Sorry for the interruptions. We continue to work on the technical issues in the background. That's Rob Campbell doing his best to get things sorted out. Meanwhile, though, we are on lap seven of a projected 26 or thereabouts. J.R. Williams continuing to lead. He took pole in qualifying. Still leading now, J.R. Williams with Matt Stadnick about 8 tenths of a second in behind him, as we can see on the chart on the left-hand side of the screen there. J.R. Williams having himself a fabulous start, fabulous race thus far, lap seven. No big, huge movers and shakers, except for maybe James Hand sitting down in about 17th place. We'll try and take a look a little later on once we get a chance at the mid-pack. But for now, we're continuing to follow along with J.R. Williams. J.R. Williams having a good battle here. Matt Stadnick, Dave Menado in third, and Jack Hedgecox in fourth. We're racing today in Australia at the Bend, a new track for most of these drivers. We're really going to be able to see who's put in the work this week and who hasn't based on where they finished tonight. The Bend here, we're coming through the first 2, 3 corners. I had a chance. I didn't even own it until a couple of hours ago. We're going to go back on board here. Brett Thurman making a nice little lunge, but not being able to make any progress there. Brett having himself a little bit of a battle with Jay Steffi at this point in the race, sitting on lap 8, going around through the midfield corners 3, 4, 5, 6. I had a chance to take a couple of laps in practice tonight, and let me tell you, this is a complicated track, and it certainly takes a few more laps than I had to get the hang of it. As we can see that some of these drivers definitely put in a good effort with quite a range of a best lap times so far tonight, anywhere from 1:45.9 for J.R. Williams down into the high 1:48. So long track for the GT3 cars, a new track. A lot of people having a little bit of an adjustment period learning this, and I think they'll pick up the pace as the race goes on. Go back in midfield here, on board live, looking at Sean Provo. Sean Provo having himself a good battle right now. He's sitting in 18th place. He's down 10 positions. A little bit of issues earlier on that we missed during our technical difficulties, but back on track and going strongly once again is Sean. And Sean here is having himself a good battle here. He's battling, trying to catch up to James Hand. James Hand, our biggest mover and shaker in the day, up 9 positions. James Hand having himself a fabulous effort driving in the Ferrari. Always nice seeing Ferraris having themselves good pace on the evening, and something we haven't seen a lot of this season, but James Hand getting it done. But in the meantime, Sean Provo really looking to get some of those positions back, going up the inside as we follow and getting that move done. Going around corner 1 into this tight, you got the left-hander, right-hander, and you've got a nice tight right-hander. This track, there's just so many turns, different radius turns, coming up through turns 4 and 5, a little bit sweeping left-handers. They lead into turn 6, a very tough hairpin corner. I found myself missing this a little bit earlier in practice tonight. This leads into the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 combo. Big sweeping right hand, almost a carousel. We're going to go back up towards the front, though. We've got Jack Hedgecox. Jack Hedgecox in 4th place right now. Jack having himself a battle with Joshua Chinsky in the Corvette, and we always like calling out the Corvettes. Who doesn't like the nice American? We used to call them muscle cars. That's more of a sports car. Definitely a GT3 car. And everything's looking good so far for Jack Hedgecox and Joshua Chinsky.
Good job there, Rich. Way to take care of that while I was.
You're the IT. I'm the IT guy, and you're the producer. We're switching roles tonight, Rob.
Facebook Live.
11 of Yeah, we should be live again. We're on lap 11 of a scheduled 26 at this stage. It's been an interesting race thus far. We've had some issues, but we're doing our best to work through them, folks. J.R. Williams continues to lead. He's had the lead ever since the start of this race, where he started on pole. Matt Stanek in second, Dave Menino in third, followed by Jack Hedgecoats. Josh Wachinski in fifth. Good little battles we've had going on all up and down the field. We're picking up on board with Jason Park. Jason Park, Riot Motorsports, having himself a good little battle here. Jason Park's making that move. Jason up to 11th position right now. He's up 8 positions on the day. Great driving by Jason in that beautiful looking Acura. As we come along, we're coming to the finish of the start-finish line, going down the longest straightaway on this track at the bend. Entering into turn 1, driver's going to go all the way to the left, using a little bit of the curbs. We'll see some of them do, opening up that corner entry for the about 90-degree right-hander, which leads into the left-right combo. Jason Park continuing to having himself a good race with Herbert Pineda right in behind him. Herbert also having a good race. Herbert up 5 positions on the day. So far, we're on lap number 12 here of a scheduled 45-minute race. We're guessing about, according to our calculations, 26 laps for these drivers. As we were saying earlier, you may have caught, may not have caught because of our issues. Very new track for most of these, or a lot of these drivers. Definitely seeing who's put in the practice time this week and who hasn't. But we're going to go back to the front. We've got J.R. Williams. J.R. Williams continuing to lead over Matt Stadnik. These guys have been kind of battling it out all race, and right now the lead of JR has been about 6-7 tenths of a second since the beginning, and he has not been able to open a gap, and Matt Stanek continuing to hold on nice and close, but they have gapped Dave Menino, who's sitting in third. He's about I don't know, 2.2 seconds behind, so Dave Menino gonna have to close that gap down a little bit.
Yeah, good job, Rich. And I'll give you another hats off again for taking care of that again while I'm trying everything. So hopefully this is finally it. We're back up and running, because we only got about half the race left here. But Jim Flees looks like he's had a bit of a rough race. So he's down 1 spot from where he started, only in 12th place. So one of our championship contenders, not having a great race so far. But a little further back in the pack, David Morse embroiled in a battle here. Ian Cabana just up ahead of him. He's got Sean Provo in tow. So this is a battle for 20th place. Fewer drivers this week, Rich. I think a lot of that's to do with this being a new track. Not many of the drivers probably even purchased it, let alone had the time to learn it this week. So not surprising that the turnout a little lower than normal. I know both of us tried to learn it and we gave up after a few laps.
Yeah, well, I just bought it about an hour and a half ago, Rob. So, and I think I did 4 ghost laps during the Throttle Freaks practice session. They did not go well. Thankfully for the rest of the drivers on the track, they didn't see me and they could drive right through me. So it's definitely a difficult and technical track, but it's something you're going to have to put some time in if you want to be half decent at, as we can see that several of these drivers have definitely put in the time. Jack Hedgecoats sitting in fourth. Jack's having himself a fabulous rookie season with Throttle Freaks.
Yeah, nice race. Looks like it's shaping up to be a nice race for Jack Hedgecoats. I don't know how much I can trust my timing showing how many positions drivers have moved up and down. I think it's accurate, showing right now that Hedgecoats has moved up 2 spots into 4th place after starting in 6th. Right. So nice run by him so far. But looks like our biggest mover while we were off air is Dale Peterson, up 12 spots from where he started on the day. So I'm not sure if any of those were involved in some other drivers' casualties or misfortunes, but nice run shaping up for Dale Peterson. Currently 10th in the Pro-Am class, but so he's going to pick up another couple spots there as a couple drivers having an issue on track. Looks like Dave Jensen and Ian Cabana got wrapped up in something there.
Yeah, you know what, Rob, it's been a mostly clean race from what I've been observing. There's been a couple of issues here and there, but for the most part it's been clean. But Tony Costello did have a little bit of an issue Tony driving around in that Merc. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happened. Oh, it wasn't Tony that was having an issue. He just came upon an issue, and that's what happened there.
Yeah, that was, as I mentioned, Ian Cabana got wrapped up in something. They didn't flag them for a crash, just kind of showed that it was a pass, but Tony Costello got flagged for slowing down for that incident, not going plowing through. But yeah, definitely the front end missing on the front end of Costello's Merc hurt out there. But J.R. Williams leading the way, looks like from the drop of the green flag. He's been leading this one over Matt Stadnick.
Yeah, J.R. Williams has shown pace all season long, and he's had a little bit of bad luck with getting turned around last week and the week before. So I'm sure J.R. Williams is hoping to get his a little bit of a revenge. Perhaps driving down under will be a little better for him than driving in the Northern Hemisphere.
Are you saying it's easier to drive down under, Rich? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, it's the toilet's flushed backwards. You know, everything swirls differently. So instead of getting spun right, maybe, you know, he'll be able to keep it left or something. I'm not sure. I'm just making stuff up, Rob, as I go.
Fair enough. We're on board with one of the Gowan brothers, Josh Gowan, currently our second placed AM driver right now. Only one spot back from Guillermo, or two spots, I guess, from Guillermo Prey, our top AM driver. He's got Brett Thurman in between them. Looks like Brett going to pop into the pits to get his service done here. So that's actually going to put Josh going right in behind Guillermo Perez. And we got a battle now for top spot in AM. Looks like neither one of those drivers have come in for their pit service either. So it'll be interesting to see if now that Gowan is not too far back of Perez, if he chooses to pop in, get his service done, or maybe even Guillermo Perez is going to pop in early, try and relieve some pressure from the back of his bumper from Josh Gowan.
Yeah, we'll see. It's, you know, we're over halfway through, so I think they can go stretch it another couple of laps if they want to. It's really a matter of personal preference, whether you feel you're being held up or whatnot. But Guillermo Perez right now having himself a good race, up 5 positions so far, and doing quite well in that nice-looking Porsche.
Yeah, sharp livery he's got on that thing, but we got a battle here between, looks like Andrew Trickett trying to chase down Javi Sierra. A little further back in the pack, but it don't really matter where you are, Rich. Every point, every position counts. And Andrew Trickett doing his best trying to chase down Sierra. Look, he got a little loose as he's coming through turn 14 and 15 there. Gathered it back up. I know I was struggling through that section when I was trying out the track. And again, that corner they just went through there, turn 17. It's a little deceiving. I don't know if you noticed when you were driving it, Rich. It's kind of almost blind, and it looks like it's got some camber to it, but then you get up there and it's like, no, there's no camber. You're just going flying off the left side of the track, and that wall comes up pretty quick on the outside.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, from the looks of things, you think it's a 90-degree turn, but it's more like a 110-degree turn. So it's really a little more tricky than it looks like at the beginning. But anyhow, we're not the ones driving tonight, Rob. Brett Thurman certainly is. Brett Thurman sitting in 23rd place right now, and Brett, one of our people who has made their pit stop, so he is the lead car of all the cars that have pitted thus far.
Yeah, Thurman just ahead of Herbert Pineda. I believe Pineda's been in for a service too as well, so both these cars have come in for their service, Rich. This is actually a battle for position after the pit stop, so Brett Thurman holding on to 23rd place. Pineda would like to take that spot away. Oh, looks like Pineda got a little late on the brakes there. Almost got into the back of Thurman's car. He almost wrecked the Bad Santa livery on the rear bumper there. So Thurman was able to get out of that one unscathed, but Pineda, no doubt, a little bit of a Code Brown moment there for him.
Billy Bob Thornton scared him away, it looks like, I guess, there, Rob. But yeah, Herbert Pineda very late on the brakes. But, you know, Herbert's showed some good pace thus far this season and the end of last season. So no harm, no foul, no contact made. So just giving a little bit of scare to, you know, we'll call him Billy Bob Thurman up front.
Billy Bob Thurman. Nicely done. Let's go take a look and see this battle here between Jason Park and Jim Feliz. Feliz got himself back to where he qualified in 11th place. Park just ahead of him. He'd like to try and take that position away. So a couple of Acuras battling it out here. And we're getting about 16 and a half just under 16 and a half minutes to go, Rich. So I suspect we should see the rest of the field start to come in for their service fairly soon as our drivers head by the pits here. There is a number of drivers in there getting service. Looks like Kevin Simpson followed by Jay Steffi. We've already got Dave Menino in his pit stall there. Patrick Farrell, Guillermo Perez. So Perez did come in early to try and relieve some of that pressure from Josh Goen. Goen looks like he's going to go around another lap. So we'll see how that works for him. We'll see if the extra lap benefits him. I watched a couple drivers this past week in different races that I've broadcast. Rich, try the, I guess we'll call it the overcut, going as long as they can on the fuel, and it didn't work out for them. The undercut seemed to be the best at any of the tracks I broadcast this week. So we'll see if it works out for Guillermo Perez as he comes in to relieve some pressure from Josh Goen, going out there trying to put in a hot lap to negate that advantage.
Well, I'm always a fan of the overcut, Rob, unless I get myself in trouble or unless there's a lot of traffic slowing me down in front. And maybe that's my excuse for never doing quite well. I should be doing the undercut is what you're saying. It's not my driving ability. It's all about the pit strategy. But meanwhile, we've got Jason Park. We won't talk about us. We don't matter. Is Jason Park holding off Jim Feliz at this stage? These guys are battling. They're sitting in 5th and 6th positions right now. Neither driver having pitted. None of the top several drivers. J.R. Williams still out, and looks like J.R. Williams, Matt Stanek, and have just pulled into pit lane, as is Joshua Chinsky. This looks like the end of our pit window, Rob. We got a whole gaggle of cars. Anybody who hasn't been in right now, looks like they're coming in this lap.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty much every race that we've done. About the 30-minute mark is about the end of the fuel load, so not surprising to see the rest of the field coming in here this time. But it looks like it's a real slow pace lap, or not pace lap, pit speed. Tripping over my tongue here. Down the pit lane, as it looks like Kevin Berquist's going to come in too as well. So let's see. Pete Mejia is our final driver to pop in. Dave Menino is already in for his service, so let's see how he works through the field. J.R. Williams, Matt Stanek's back out. Looks like he might get ahead of Josh Chinsky. There's Chinsky there. So Menino going to move up into 3rd place. So coming in a lap ahead of those other drivers worked out well for him. He's been able to jump ahead of both Hedgecoats and Chinsky. So nice pit strategy there for Dave Menino. We'll see if Jack Hedgecoats is able to chase him down.
Well, it looks like you're right once again, Rob, and I'm the sucker. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where everybody shakes out at the end of this. I know we saw Dave Mejia earlier, and I overheard a little birdie tell me that his first time on the track doing any practice laps was today. So be interested to see how he shakes out after this pit stop and where he ends up.
Pete Mejia, you mean?
Didn't I say Pete Mejia?
I think you said Dave. Maybe it was just me, but I thought I heard Dave. Josh Goen looking up the inside of Seb.
Pete. I'm Pete Mejia.
Josh Goen looking up the inside of Seb Gauthier. Gauthier trying to get him back on the crossover, but looks like Goen going to hold on to that. I think I just said Josh Goen, so there you go. Nicholas Goen going to hold on to that spot. We're mixed up names left, right, and center here tonight, Rich, but it is what it is. It's one of those nights, I guess, but all of our leaders done their pit service. Now it's a charge to the end. J.R. Williams got in and out of the pits. Looks like he's actually picked up a little bit of time over Matt Stadnik in 2nd place. That gap now 2.1 seconds between our leader, J.R. Williams, in that Mercedes. It's been real strong this season with Williams behind the wheel. So last couple races, we saw that he was out front. A little bit of contact cost him a spot. He was able to get it back in the one race. Looks like so far it's been problem-free out front for him. A nice 2.2 second gap seems to be building up even further, Rich. So we say at this point in time, barring any major mistake for J.R. Williams, he should be able to bring home this one.
Yeah, I mean, his time in the stall, it looks to be about the exact same as Matt Stadnik, but his time on pit lane was, he gained a whole second there. So that would explain most of the difference in their the gap right now. That's just allowed him to pull out of draft range of Matt Stadnik and continue on fine. But meanwhile, we've got Jack Hedgecoats. He's sitting in 4th place, but we're going to take it up. Colin McKenzie. Colin McKenzie sitting in 27th place. He was involved in a lap 2 incident, but Colin McKenzie having himself a good battle with Robert Jeffries. Both of those drivers up a few positions on the day, though.
Yeah, it's a battle for 26th and 27th Jeffries in the gold and purple. I believe that's B&O Cardamania is the team he's a part of. It's what it says in the door there. It's a little hard to see, but trust me, folks, that's what it says. The Lunatic Machine of Mackenzie trying to make his way around. That was our tightest battle on track. We got a couple other ones that are starting to spool up here as Josh going now on the back of, I believe that was, sorry, not on the back of, he's got Herbert Pineda on the back. I was going to say on the back of Brett Thurman, but Thurman 3 seconds down the road. Josh going now having to deal with Herbert Pineda. A couple of McLarens going at it here. We saw Pineda with a little bit of pace early on. He's able to get around Guillermo Pere, who's, unfortunately for him, falling back behind Josh going. Saw him come in earlier, Rich, to try and relieve some of that pressure from going once he caught up. But it looks like Pere unable to get in and out of pit road quicker than Josh going. Going was actually able to pick up a spot ahead of Pineda too as well, but Pineda looking real testy here, trying to take that position back.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like his time on pit road was a lot longer, and he lost over a second in that battle. But Herbert Pineda having a great close battle with all over the back of Josh Goen. We saw Herbert breaking a little late earlier in his earlier battle, but managing to keep off the bumper of this corner on Josh, and earlier managed to keep off the bumper of Brett Thurman. So Herbert Pineda himself right now up 2 positions, sitting in 15th place, following Josh Goen up 6 positions on the day.
Yeah, it's a tricky section there, turn 1. You really got to try and hold it tight against that curb on the inside, but it's a fairly raised curve. It really likes to throw the car sideways if you hit it too hard. So we'll keep an eye on Pineda there, see if he's able to make his way around Josh Goen up ahead. But we got a battle shaping up just up front between Kevin Simpson and Jay Steffi. We saw the two of them on pit lane together. Simpson came in just ahead of Steffi. Looks like he's gotten off pit lane ahead of Steffi too as well, but Simpson going to get off into the grass a little bit. That's going to compromise his exit pace. Steffi looking to try and make a move around Simpson here any which way he can.
Yeah, he's looking, but Kevin Simpson not looking to give up any positions. Kevin Simpson, he's down 1 position on the day, and he says that's enough. Jay, stay there, and so far doing a good job of holding him off. We'll see how long he continue this, though. We saw Kevin Simpson having himself some really good weeks. I believe it was last season predominantly, and kind of predicting how he would do. We haven't talked to him for a few weeks. We'd like to, but meanwhile, Jay Steffi now going up the inside, but closing him off, Kevin Simpson, as they come around the final corner.
Yes, Simpson trying to defend like a lion right now to try and keep Steffi behind him. Let's take a look at their lap times as they cross the line. Steffi with a 146.7 last time by to Simpson's 147.1. Both of them almost identical quick laps in the race, Rich. 146.35 for Simpson to a 146.34. So both of them fairly matched on pace. As you see Steffi getting real up close to the tailpipe of Simpson's car, almost pushing him through that corner. We'll see here if he can try and force a mistake. Looks like Simpson was able to leg out a couple tenths there. Looks like the BMW a little quicker in a straight line, but the Acura looks like it's working a little better in the braking zones. Jay Steffi able to wait that extra half a second or so before really getting onto the binders.
And that's the nice thing with the GT3 racing. I mean, you've got front engine, you've got mid engine, you've got rear engine, all different kinds of cars, all very competitive with each other, as we're evidenced with the BMW and the Acura there. But here we go, we've got Herbert Pineda once again getting real close. Herbert's not afraid to throw it in late, and he's still battling hard with Josh Goen. Hey Rob, I'm not sure how we're doing here technically wise. Any chance we can see where we are by class on the leaderboard?
By class on the leaderboard, we certainly can do that, Rich. There you go.
Yeah, just so that viewers at home who may be watching, we've got 3 different classes running within this race. We've got the pros, the pro-ams, and the amateurs. They're all scored based on their finishing position, but they're all running in their own individual series. So right now, J.R. Williams leading the pros, Josh Ruchinski leading the pro-ams, and Josh Goen with Herbert Pineda all over the back of Josh Goen, continuing to lead the amateurs. Josh Goen having himself a great race.
Yeah, it looked like Pineda saw an opening there. Thought twice about sticking his nose up at the inside and potentially getting into the back of Goen and spinning around. So Josh Goen's going to survive that one, but Not sure how long Pineda is going to hold on to. It looks like Pineda might have a little more pace here than going. We'll see if he's able to get some draft and make a move into turn one. But while they battle, that's allowing Guillermo Perez in behind in 16th place, that white, black, and red Porsche, try and sneak back into this battle here, Rich. So it could be a three-way battle in a matter of moments for 14th place.
Yeah, it's Guillermo's just chomping at the bit. I'm not necessarily the fastest guy, Rob, but I love when I see two guys battling hard like that ahead of me. You just know you're going to gain a half a second minimum a lap, and especially on a big lap like here, these guys are running anywhere between 145s and 148s here at the bend. And oh, Herbert Pineda, he loves sending it in deep as he does right there, and closing that gap, maybe throwing a little scare in Josh if Josh was looking in his mirrors. If I was Josh, though, I wouldn't be. I'd just be concentrating on driving my lines, making sure I drive a little defensively. Don't let Herbert make those moves, do those down inside dive bombs, because if you close that off, he's going to have a hard time getting by you.
Yeah, that's why you pay your spotter, right, Rich? You let the spotter worry about the car behind you, beside you, and so forth. Just kind of focused out front. But we had a battle here for 19th and 20th place. Sean Provo in the green and black SRTE Mustang up ahead, trying to hold off James Hand. Saw Provo just kind of hopping over those curves earlier. Thankfully for him, the Mustang takes the curbs relatively well, fairly compliant with it. I don't necessarily think it's all that heavy a car, but it's just so big and bulky. It just kind of seems to eat up most of the curbs, where the Ferrari with the Hand behind the wheel here having to take a little different line, not able to really kind of push the envelope up over the curbs here. So we'll see if he's able to close back in. That gap was down to about 3/10, but looks like Sean Provo is starting to drive away now from James Hand. But back to this battle between Simpson and Steffi. Steffi alongside. Looks like Simpson going to have the inside line, though, as they head into turn 7. Let's see if Steffi can try and get alongside. If he can do that through 7, he would have the inside line for 8. He's trying to push the envelope on the outside. Simpson fighting back. Steffi's going to get the inside line here now. Simpson might have to back out and fall into line behind Steffi now. Steffi might have finally tried to finally snatch that position away from Simpson. They're going to bump and bang. It's not over here yet, Rich, but it looks like Steffi might hold on to it. Simpson having to bail off into the grass.
Yeah, that big carousel section in the 7, 8, 9, 10 corners. Looks like Jay Steffi, after several laps of trying, finally got that move done. But we're going to go back with Herbert Pineda. Herbert Pineda still falling along the back of Josh Goen. Herbert not having any way of getting by. Josh Goen doing a tremendous job of defense thus far. You see, definitely Herbert doing a little bit of a different braking strategy than Josh. Josh braking a little bit lighter and earlier. Herbert coming in hard and hammering on those brakes.
Yeah, it looked like that late brake maneuver by Pineda cost him an amount of time into that corner. But you know who's not losing any time? It's J.R. Williams, our leader from the drop of the green flag. Out front comfortably now, just keeps opening up that gap over Matt Stadnick in second place, 3.6 seconds now. So, well, we have a moment. I should maybe pop up quickly the points here, as long as it loaded in the... Oh, no, actually it didn't load it in here, so unfortunately can't do that, but I can let you know J.R. Williams is definitely at the top of the pro side of things in the points. It's real tight, though, between Williams, Stadnick, and Hedgecoats. So it'll be interesting to see, with only 3 more races left in the season. This is round 7, 8, 9, and 10 left to go. I believe next week, if I remember correctly, Rich, is round 8 at Road America. You're going to miss that one of your favorite tracks.
Oh, my favorite track, and I'm not going to be here, Rob. I'm so disappointed, but hey, vacation's vacation. I'm not that disappointed, let's be honest. But back on board, Jack Edgecoats. Jack is sitting in 4th place, having a fabulous season. He's trying to follow along behind Dave Menino, but right now, Dave Menino is just a little too far ahead. He's got looks like about a 7/10 of a second gap to him. We're running out of laps here, Rob. We're on lap 24. This is going to go, I think, only 25 laps, so they may be coming around to take the white flag soon.
I think we're probably going to get 26 laps, as J.R. Williams heading into turn 18 now. So he's going to start his second last lap, so it'll be 2 to go when he crosses the line. But this battle here between Nicholas Goen and Patrick Farrell is for a 3rd spot in the Pro-Am side of things, also 8th place overall. So Farrell trying to put a ton of pressure on the back of that McLaren up ahead. I know you're happy to see the Corvette pushing the envelope here on the McLaren, Rich.
Well, I like both cars, but man, I love that. I love that Corvette since it came out, and I think Chevy did a great job with that car. And I've been a Corvette fan my whole life. Hey, what can I say? I'm a GM guy at heart.
And across the line they go. We should see Barney waving the white flag here, but looks like he's on strike again. That guy, I'm going to fire him. But this battle continues on. Farrell trying to find a way around going trying to make that already fairly wide McLaren even wider than he can. But Seb Goche kind of lurking in the background there has really closed up the last couple laps while Farrell and Goen have kind of compromised their lines trying to battle each other here. But again, a guy who's up front not battling anybody is J.R. Williams, but Jack Hedgecock's putting the last lap pressure on here, trying to reel in Dave Menino. Looks like he's going to be too far back though to really make a strong push, but only a number of corners to go now for J.R. Williams to bring home round 7 at the bend. Hopefully it doesn't give him the bends at the finish line, Rich, and he can haul this one in. As 2 more laps to go, or 2 more corners to go, 17 and 18. Actually, we might even go an extra lap here if he doesn't make the line. 10 seconds to go, 2 more corners. It's going to be real close. It looks like he's backing off to make sure there's no extra lap here. There it is. I can hear him back out of the throttle in between those 2 corners. Checker flag's out. J.R. Williams going to take this one. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, J.R. Williams not getting spun this week and coming home with a race victory, but we're going to go back and board on a little battle still going on the track. We're following along with Patrick Farrell. Patrick Farrell following along behind, it looks like Nicholas Goen with Seb Goche in behind them. A 3-car battle with a couple of corners left to go. See if anybody's got anything for anybody else here at this stage, but it looks like these drivers are going to remain where they sit. Just gap's too big, Rob.
Yeah, into the final corner. Looks like Goen going to hold off. We got a battle here between Tony Costello and James Hand. They got about 4 or 5 more corners to go. Costello trying to put some pressure on that Ferrari of Hand. The Merc, again, another Merc driver here looking strong right now towards the end. Costello looks like he's got a ton of pace over Hand, but I think he's running out of corners trying to make the move to try and go around the outside here into turn 17. Brave move. Backs out of it though. Hand goes wide. Costello looks up the inside. 1 more corner to go. Rich, who's going to take this one?
Oh no, that's James Hand having himself a good race thus far, but losing that position near the end. Costello doing a good job in that Merc.
Yeah, well done to Costello. Snatches away P20 from James Hand at the line. David Moore's going to come across to finish up 24th. Colin McKenzie, after, as Rich mentioned, incident on lap 2, going to come home in 25th. Robert Jeffries, saw him battling with, I believe that was Sean Provo earlier. He's fallen back. He's going to bring it home in 27th, and I believe that's going to be our final driver on the lead lap. It is. That's going to make the race official, and we can have a look at the official results. Just take us through. Oh, why don't you take us through the first page here, Rich?
Yeah, our overall winner and winner in the pro category, J.R. Williams, 3.3 second victory over Matt Stadnick. Then we had Dave Menino in 3rd, rounding out the podium. Jack Hedgecock's, another strong effort, finishing 4th. Then our first Pro-Am, Joshua Chinsky, finishing 5th, followed by our second Pro-Am, Jay Steffi. Kevin Simpson finished in 7th, followed by Nicholas Goen in 8th, then Patrick Farrell in 9th, and Seb Goche rounds out your top 10. We have Jason Park finished in 11th, Jim Felice 12th, Billy Bob Thurman in 13th, followed by our amateur winner, Josh Goen in 14th. Guillermo Perez in 15th, followed by Kevin Berquist in 16th. Those are your 3 amateur podium drivers. Herbert Pineda finished 17th, followed by Pete Mejia in 18th. Sean Provo was in 19th. Tony Costello in 20th.
On to the next page. James Hand in 21st. Dale Peterson is going to come home in 22nd. Dave Jensen in 23rd. David Morse 24th. Colin McKenzie in 25th. Ian Cabana in 26th. Robert Jeffries in 27th. Tyler Pastor in 28th. Neil Alexander in 29th. David Bush III, 2 laps down in 30th. Andrew Trickett, Javi Sierra, Christopher Rhines, Jacob Fichtner, Brent Pancari, all multiple laps down. Unfortunate races for them, but maybe next week at Road America will fit their eyes a little better here than the new track here at the Bend. You see the crowd is just standing in their great enthusiasm about the race. Rich, iRacing's crowd looks like a bunch of
Yeah.
zombies. It almost feels like you're in a day of
Kind of
Dawn
like
of the
how we
Dead or
feel tonight,
something.
Rob.
But we got a couple drivers in the booth here. Let's bring in, who do we got? I got an unknown driver that's just D. I'm have to try and figure out who that is, but let's bring in our race winner, J.R. Williams, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, congratulations, JR.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. That was a kind of, I mean, I guess boring, but it was a good fun one for me.
I was gonna say, after last week getting spun and the week before getting spun, boring's got to feel pretty good.
Boring feels great tonight. Yeah. I put in a lot of prep, a lot of laps, and so I felt pretty confident in my pace. And I with the slick track tonight, I just wanted to underdrive and bring it home safe.
Well, you had a good battle with Matt Stanek for the first half of the race up until the pit stopped, but you gained a full second or more on your time on pit lane. So after that, you seem to just walk away.
Yeah, I know the Porsche really struggles as the weight comes off the front with and I'm sure that hurts him a bit in this kind of track. It's not a great track for the Porsche anyway, so the fact that Matt could do the times he was doing, it's really impressive.
It looks like you obviously put in some effort and time, as did Matt, and I'm guessing all the SRT guys at the Bend, a track new to most racers on the service. Have you done many races there before?
No, I did one official last week, and otherwise no. This was brand new. Just downloaded it like last week, and just put in the effort to learn and get comfortable with it.
Oh, looks like the effort paid off. Congratulations once again. We're at Road America next week. Uh, are you a Road America fan?
I love Road America, mostly in prototypes and formula cars, but it's fun at everything. Such a great track. Looking forward to it.
Hey, there you go. You just scored some points in my book because I feel the same way. So, any shout outs tonight, JR?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Matt. Just like I said, amazing pace. He preps with me all the time, and it's really impressive to see how fast he is. It doesn't matter if the Porsche is a good car there or not. He's always up there. So shout out to Matt.
All right, awesome. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, JR.
Thank you guys.
That was our overall winner, J.R. Williams. Let's bring in our second place car, Matt Stanek. Matt, looks like you were unable to keep up the pace with J.R. after the pit stops. A healthy lead over third place though. Nice second place finish. We head to Road America next week. Do you feel that's going to be a little more suited to your driving style here than the new track, the Bend?
I like Road America. I don't know if it's really a Porsche track. I think the Merc is still going to be really, really good there. But we'll do the best we can with what we got. The fixed setup's a little better than the open setup from last season. You got a lot more wing going into that fast right-hander, so it's not as scary. So that'll be be nice to have a little more confidence in the rear around there with the full wing on.
I think we had you in here last week and you hadn't bought the track yet, or you just bought it. How did you find learning it this week? I know I tried a few laps. I got frustrated after about half a tank of fuel and called it quits. But how are you liking the new track?
You know what? It's a lot funner than I thought it would be, and it's I don't have it figured out yet in my head. I know I'm in second, but I don't feel like I have it figured out totally. JR figured something out somewhere. I could just barely match him, and then when he put the afterburners on, it was sort of like, all right, here he goes. I can't keep with it. So I knew he was gonna do that. He's done it all weekend. He's been absolutely blistering fast around here. So big shout out to him and congratulations.
So you know what you do this week then. Anytime the SRT drivers are in a practice session with JR, you just go and wreck them. So he can't get any practice in this week and get prepped for Road America, and then you'll be golden next week. But before we let you go, Matt, anybody you want to shout out here?
Yeah, big shout out to you, Rob and Richard. Thanks for putting on a good broadcast, and shout out the team as always. And big shout out to Dave Menino, who's got the 3rd place. So
Yeah, SRTE sweep of the podium and the pro side of things. So well done by the SRTE drivers. So best of luck next week, Matt, and hopefully we see you back at the sharp end of the field.
take it easy, guys. Thanks.
Take care. That was our 2nd place, Matt Stanek. I believe we have Dave Menino here to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, Dave, congratulations. Nice to get you in the booth here.
Yeah, thanks. Good to finally get a podium. Yeah, fun race.
Yeah, the bend was the bend new for you?
I'd run a few laps here and there, but I really enjoy the track. There's it's really technical. You can make some interesting moves in certain spots where you don't really normally think you can. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun, good track to add to the service.
Yeah, I'd never seen the track, to be honest with you, until about 2 hours before we went live, and I bought the track and I hopped in a go session with you guys, and you definitely must have put in some work to have such great results tonight. So it's nice to see you on the podium. I don't remember interviewing you yet, but we've called your name a bunch because you're always up near the pointy end of the field. Next week's Road America, is that something you're looking forward to? You think you're going to do well next week?
Oh yeah, I mean, how can you not look forward to Road America? That's like a top 3 track on iRacing. So you know, it always provides some good racing, and you know, to your point, I've always kind of been up there hunting top 5s, but good to finally get a top 3, and who knows, maybe we'll squeak in a win before the season ends.
Well, we'd love to see it, Dave, and we're really happy and glad to see you make the podium and get in the booth. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to since you're here?
Yeah, big congrats to JR for the win. Some great points for Team SRT Yellow, so that's huge. And would like to thank you guys for putting up this broadcast. You guys have done an awesome job, and it's a blast to watch the races back every week.
Well, don't be disappointed on tonight, but we did make sure we got you, but we had some technical difficulties earlier. But we'll do our best, and we're going to try and cover you, maybe get a victory next week at Road America. So good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Great, thanks guys.
So that was our 3rd place overall finisher, Dave Menino, and Rich just spoiled his evening, letting him know he's going to miss about half the race on the broadcast. But let's bring in our top Pro-Am driver, Josh Wachinski. Josh, shaping up to be a nice season for you right now. Another win in the Pro-Am category. How did learning the new track go for you this week?
This track kind of threw me for a loop, honestly, of where sectors 1 and 2, it took me until probably about yesterday to fully figure out. For whatever reason, sector 3 I got pretty quickly. I don't know why. I guess it's just the slow. I think that's where the Corvette is actually at its strongest, and like those kind of slow corners of where it's got a little bit of downforce, but a lot of mechanical grip of just keeping the car pointed. But overall, really having a great season. It's awesome racing against everybody here. And then, of course, just JR and Matt always being in front always gives you a little target to try and chase every race.
Yeah, it's like the SRTE drivers really battling amongst themselves right now at the top of the field, week in, week out. We head to Road America next week. It always seems to be a real fan favorite. I watched a number of top split races this week just while I was working on some different cameras and different things in the back end, and the races that I saw were a whole lot of carnage. So what are you envisioning for next week here when Throttle Freaks takes round 8 to Road America?
Yeah, I think it'll still be pretty good. Road America generally tends to have some pretty good racing so long as you get past the probably the first 5 turns. Hard to judge it based off of officials too, because that's one of those very, very fun official sessions where everybody thinks that they know how to drive the track better than everybody else. And I've noticed that it leads to a lot of carnage. So it's a week that I try and avoid most of the time. But I'm looking forward to it. Road America is probably one of my favorite American tracks to race around. I haven't driven it in a GT car. I've put in probably over 1,000 laps in an LMP2. So I can't wait to get on track and figure out how the GT differentiates between the LMP2 with that significant lack of downforce.
Excellent stuff. Give us your shout outs here before we let you go, Josh.
Absolutely. Mom, Dad, appreciate you guys watching. Your support means the world to me. SRT, as always, you guys are just the best. Week in, week out, I'm always trying to get faster because there's always somebody that I've got a target set on of I want to try and get faster than them. Shout out to you guys, Pit Road Productions, and then Throttle Freaks for putting this league together. And lastly, shout out to the sponsors, Penn Station East Coast Subs, and Lifestyle Integrations. I know we're a couple months out, but just kind of an early. If you're in the Midwest area and sometimes on the East Coast, October there's a ghost pepper sandwich that's coming out, and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Sounds like heartburn city for me, but well done, Josh. Congrats. Best of luck next week in Road America.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob.
Take care. So that was our top Pro-Am driver, Josh Wachcinski. Let's bring in our second place driver in the Pro-Am side of things, Jay Steffi. Jay, we saw a battle there at the end between you and Kevin Simpson. Went on for a number of laps. You were finally able to get around him. Talk us through that.
That was a lot of fun, and it was super frustrating. I sent it into turn 3, got side by side, and we did the side by side all the way through turn 6, and then through, 7, 8, 9, the long right hander. We touched a couple times, and unfortunately, only one car can go through there, on the track full speed, and he had to let off, and I got the position.
Yeah, it looked like the Acura, you were able to brake a little later than he could in the BMW, but it looks like the BMW had a little more legs in the quicker sections, and once you got alongside, looks like that's all you needed. But Road America next week, is that one of your favorite tracks, or is it on the bottom side of your list?
I love Road America. It's a riot. It's the scary point, the stinker point is, the kink. So if we can get through the kink, we'll have a good race.
Excellent stuff. Give us some shout outs here, Jay, before we let you go.
Shout out to you and Richard. Shout out to Colin, Sean, everybody at Throttle Freaks, and most importantly, my beautiful wife. And thank you for guys broadcasting.
Excellent stuff. Best of luck next week, Jay. I know you're really battling in the Pro-Am side of things with championship, so well done. A couple more weeks to go. Best of luck to you.
Yeah. When you talk to Nick, convince him not to show up for the next 3 races. That gives me hope.
I'll do my best. Maybe I'll tell him he's got an end of line penalty or something.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Speaking of the aforementioned Nick Goen, that Jay Steffi just asked us to talk to him and ask him to not come next week. We'll see what Richard Swindells can pull out of Nick.
Hey, Nick, congratulations. Jay just threw me for a loop with that comment just before we picked you up live. So another great race for the Goen Racing.
Yeah, good race. Josh picks up the win in AM. Super proud of him. I think Jack was, I don't really know what was happening up front. It seemed like pretty close to Jack and JR and the usual suspects. So they kind of just took off, especially after I looped it off of coming out of 15. But yeah, it was a pretty good race, and happy to fight back to P3 at the end of the night.
Yeah, well, in 8th overall, that's not bad. Good points for the team, a good haul. Next week's Road America, how's Goen Racing going to do there?
I hope pretty good, pretty similar. I mean, I hope that I can bump up a spot or two in the class. I have a lot of fun or a lot of time spent at Road America, so I feel pretty confident and comfortable with that track versus this one. I didn't really get to practice it until today, so it was kind of a steep learning curve, but definitely looking forward to next week.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again. Any shout outs tonight?
Again, like every week, shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast, admins for putting on the league, and everyone, friends and family watching at home. Appreciate you tuning in and watching us go in circles.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week, Nick.
Yeah.
That was our third place Pro-Am driver. Let's bring in the third driver in the Goen Racing stable, Josh Goen. Josh, congrats. Taking home the AM win here tonight, as well as I believe that also gave you, if I remember correctly, P14 overall. So nice race here at the new track, The Bend. How are you liking the new facility?
Yeah, I actually think it looks pretty cool out there. I mean, graphically, they did a really good job with it. I was thinking that as I drove around the track, just really trying to not think about how much I disliked driving it. But, you know, that's just me and my resistance to new things. So, all in all, it kind of came to me by the end.
Last, I'm going to say 10 minutes or so, it looked like Herbert Pineda was really putting the pressure on you. And then it looks like maybe possibly overheated his tires with about a lap or so to go, fell back a little bit. How were you dealing with that pressure? Were you worried about him much behind, or just kind of focusing out front?
I was honestly thinking that the most impressive thing I saw tonight was him not running in the back of me, because I was all over the place. He was applying a lot of pressure, and I was just doing everything I could to get a good exit and hold him off, and he was really respectful. I appreciated that a ton. There was a moment where I made a mistake, and I was just kind of hoping that he would swing by me, but then he made a mistake, and I was just like, I can't just lift and let him go. I'm racing out here. But he definitely kudos to him. That was an achievement of the night. We're not running into me, because I made it pretty hard.
Excellent stuff. Well, the final 3 weeks start next week with Road America. How are you feeling about finishing up the season?
I'm excited. I think a lot of us felt like the last 3 weeks have been newer tracks, less popular tracks. So it's definitely been a unique challenge learning and practicing on these guys. But I am very excited to return to the old favorites. You know, we've got Road America, like you said, then Silverstone, then Nürburgring GP. So I'm really excited for all three of those tracks. I think they'll be good overtaking and very exciting venues to finish out this season.
Excellent stuff. Anybody you want to give a shout out here, Josh, before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. The friends, the fam, the team, and special shout out to my papa if he's still listening tonight. It's his birthday, so wish him a special evening. It's late on the East Coast, so hope he's going to bed after this.
Excellent stuff. So best of luck next week, Josh, and we hope to see you back here again, talking to us. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
That was our top AM driver. That's going to do it for interviews, Rich. Now, I was able, while we're doing all that, to load in the points here. So why don't we take a quick look at the points before we sign off here, just so we have an idea of what we're heading into next week. First, we'll take a look at the AM side of things. Josh Goen, who we just talked to, by way of winning the AM race again here tonight, going to open up that lead over Pete Mejia in second place. Kevin Berquist, I believe, came home, I think it was second in AM tonight. Third, sorry. But he and Guillermo Perez was second in AM. So points all for all of them. But Josh Goen going to be looking strong heading into Road America next week, leading the AM side of things. But what do we got shaping up in the Pro-Am side, Rich?
Well, on the Pro-Am side, we've got Nicholas Goen and David Bush III and Jay Steffi, so as well as Joshua Chinsky. So right now, Nicholas Goen had himself a 15-point lead, and he's just going to extend that a little bit more, it looks like, Rob. Jay Steffi having himself a good night, as did Joshua Chinsky. Then we had Andrew Venaro, Colin McKenzie, Seb Gauthier, Patrick Farrell, Brent Bakari, who got tied up in an early incident tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to see him on screen, and Jason Park rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and then we'll quickly take a look here at the pro side of things. Over in pro, we've got Jack Hedgecox leading the way. Matt Stadnick came in here in second place. Jared Williams, top spot. We're going to see a little bit of shuffling there. Only 10 points separating our top three. And you actually take those three drivers, flip them around. That's how they finish here this evening. So it's going to be interesting to see the points heading into next week with only 3 races to go. The battle pretty much is for the top 3 points. Jim Flea's a little farther back, but not out of it yet. Something were to happen amongst those 3 drivers next week or so with strong finishes from Flea's. He could be right back in there. And then we'll quickly take a look at the team side of things, where no surprise, Going Racing with their strong races the last few weeks got themselves up top of the standings, just ahead of SRTE Purple, SRTE Yellow, not too far back of them either, and then a little ways back to Madwork Lunatics, and then Riot Motorsports, our 5th place team on the team side of things. So that's going to do it here for the Bend, the new track. Just going to quickly take and mention, I mentioned it last week, the Formula 4 series starting next season. The recruitment race is next week on Thursday. I'll give you an idea of what the layout's going to be of the league, get a feel for the heats and the feature setups. So it's free to enter. It's going to be, you get the session name there if you want to join in. By all means, pop in. The Discord link for the league is in the description of the video here, so you can find your way in, keep in touch with all the goings on there. But until next week at Road America, I'm Rob Campbell for Richard Swindells in the booth. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.